So we are defining a line as a line may be thought of as a set of points. So a set of points can make up a line, most especially if there are 2 points. Any 2 points can easily make up a line. E.g., we can have a line which is x is equal to 4. X is equal to 4, it implies that in all coordinates, the x value is 4. This implies that in all coordinates, remember, the coordinates are always written in form of xy. Example, 2, 5, 4, 5, 3, 0, what, 2, 2. So the coordinates are always written in that form xy. In that form xy. So when I say x is equal to 4, it means for all those coordinates, the x value is 4. So I can have examples 4, 0, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 5. As long as the x coordinate is 4, then that line is going to be called x is equal to what? To 4. That line will be called x is equal to 4 because all the x coordinates are 4. Now, I have examples. I want us to look at this part properly and understand it. Write down the equation on which each of the following sets of points lie. Now, if you look at this equation properly, remember the coordinate is usually xy. I want us to look at these coordinates and tell me if there is something special. The coordinate is xy. You realize that either x or y is the same throughout. By looking at that, who can tell me which one of the coordinates x or y is being constant or is not changing? It is the same throughout. Jeremiah.
The y. The y coordinate.
Very good. The y coordinate is not changing. On the first coordinate, xy, we have -2, which is x, and y, and 2, which is for y. Then on the second coordinate, we have -1, which is for x, and we have 2, which is for y. On the third coordinate, we have 0, which is for x, and we have 2, which is for y. On the fourth coordinate, we have 1, which is for x, and we have 2, which is for y. And on the last coordinate, we have 5, which is for x, and 2, which is for y. So there is something we are seeing special on these coordinates. Something special is there. The y coordinate is not changing, and throughout the y coordinate is 2. Therefore, the equation of this line where y coordinate is not changing and it is 2, the equation of this line is going to be y is equal to 2. So we are saying every coordinate here, every point has the y coordinate which is equal to 2. Therefore, the equation of the line is y is equal to 2. I want you to understand that. That's what it means. Let us look at our part B. Part B, who can tell us something special, something common to all these coordinates of part B? Is there something common to all the points of part B? I want someone else, Jeremiah, not you. You have already given me the answer. I need someone else. People, please participate.
Every point has the y coordinate equal to -1.
Who is this? What's your name? Who is talking? Who has been talking? Peace. Okay, Nezima. If you are confused. Okay, let's go with what she told us. That if we observe properly, every coordinate on all these points has a y value which is equal to -1. The first coordinate -1, 1, -1, -1. Remember, the x coordinate is always the first one, so it means the x is -1 and the y is -1 also. Then on the second coordinate, it means x is 0 and y is -1. On the third coordinate, it means x is 3 and y is -1. On the third coordinate, it means x is 5 and y is -1. So throughout, you realize that x coordinate is changing, but y coordinate is not changing, and it remains as -1, -1 throughout. So each point has its y coordinate equal to -1. The equation of the line, therefore, is y equal to -1, because the y coordinate is not changing throughout, is equal to -1. Plotting linear graphs. Consider the equation. Now, you people, I want you to be very, very attentive here, because I have an assignment for you. Those who are not paying attention, you will fail the assignment. So pay maximum attention. Consider the relation y is equal to x plus 3. This is an equation which relates x and y. This equation here, the relationship is x and y, because x and y can change, but 3 cannot change. So the 3 which cannot change, we call it a constant. Then x and y which can change, we call them variables. Okay? X and y which can change, we call them variables. Consider the relation y is equal to x plus 3. Now this is an equation which relates x and y. This equation is in terms of x and y. It relates x and y. And it means that for every value of x, there is a corresponding value of y. So for every value of x, there will be a corresponding value of y. And for every value of y, there will be a corresponding value of x. For example, since x and y can take any values, then they are called variables. Variables means those numbers which can change, and the 3 which does not change is called a constant. So x and y can take up any values. For example, who is asking? Any question? So we are saying x and y can take up any values. For example, I want us to use this equation. I will ask one by one, each one of you. Using this equation, we are saying x and y can take up any values. So using that equation, if my x is 1, who can tell me the value of y? When x is 1, who can tell me the value of y?
4.
4.
Please, you put up your hand. You don't just talk. I'll be removing some people. Nezima,
Y equals 4.
how are you getting 4?
4. Y equals 1 plus 3.
1 plus 3, which is 4. Thank you very much. So when x is 1, y is going to be equal to 1 plus 3, which is 4. And that is exactly what you are seeing here. So when y is equal to, when x is equal to 1, then y, using this equation, y is going to be x plus 3, and x is 1, so it will be 1 plus 3, which is 4. Okay? Crystal, what will be the value of y when x is 2? I'm asking you, Crystal. Atuhura Crystal. Please, I said when I ask you a question, you answer immediately.
5.
Eh?
5.
5. How are you getting 5?
The question is, what will be the value of y when x is 2? So, if x is 2 and y is the unknown, we shall add x plus 3 to get y, and x is 2, so it's 2 plus 3 equals y.
Very good. What a bright girl. Thank you. So when x is 2, y will be equal to 3 plus, 2 plus 3, which is 5. Thank you for that. Bonita, the boon, what will be the value of y when x is 3?
Should I beg your pardon?
What will be the value of y when x is 3 using this equation?
I'm not sure of my answer.
Now, what is your answer? Y is equal to x plus 3. If at all x is equal to 3, when x is equal to 3, what will be the value of y? Say something, you are wasting time. Achora? No, Camila, not you. I want Achora. Achora, who usually comes late. Achora, what will be the value of y when x is 3? Is she on or she? Okay, Camila, save us.
Y equals to x plus 3 and x is equals to 3. So we get 3 plus 3 equals 6.
Very good. Thank you. So when x is 3, y will be equal to 3 plus 3, which is 6. When x is equal to 3, y will be equal to 3 plus 3, which is 6. And when x is 4, y will be equal to 4 plus 3, and the answer is 7. So we keep on doing that, and that. What you have to know is the equation, and that the value of x and y can change. When x is equal to 4 in the equation, it means y will be equal to 4 plus 3, which is 7. And when x is equal to 5, it means y will be equal to x plus 3, where x is 5, and we shall have y to be equal to 5 plus 3, which is 8. Now, after doing all that, we can tabulate our values in a table. So, when we tell you to plot a line, the line is always y against x, whereby the y-axis is on the vertical axis and the x is the horizontal axis. So when we tell you to plot a graph of x against y, we first tabulate our values. So these are our values, and our values are always x. Our table contains values of x and values of y. From what we started with, when x is 1, y is equal to 4, because y is x plus 3, which is equal to 4. So x is 1, y is 4. And when x is 2, you can see the 2 here, y is equal to what? 5. And when x is 3, y is equal to 6. When x is 4, y is equal to 7. And when x is 5, y is equal to what? To 8. So after that, we tabulate our table. Now, having done that, I want us to look at an example. And here, you should pay maximum attention. Example is here. We are going to do it together, but immediately after this example, be rest assured that there will be an assignment. So pay maximum attention and understanding. Draw the graph of y is equal to 3 minus x. So this is our new equation now. Y is equal to 3 minus x for the range of values of x from negative 3 to positive 3. So x starts from negative 3. You use values of x from negative 3 to positive 3. So this time I have not had time to write up the calculation when x is equal to what, when x is equal to what. No, I have done it right away, and I think you will be able to understand it. You can follow. So the range they have told you to use is here. The values of x should start from negative 3 to positive 3. So from negative 3 going to positive side, from negative 3, the next value is negative 2. I think you agree with that. After negative 2 going to positive 3 value, the next value is negative 1. Then from negative 1 we go to 0. From 0 we go to 1. From 1 we go to 2, and finally we go to 3. So I've told you that when you want to plot a graph, you need values of x and you need values of y. So let us start. Let's start. I'll be calling you at random. Now these are the values of x. These are the values of x, and I will start with you. Who should I start with? Put up your hand if you want me to start with you. Okay, Nelson Mandela. Can we start? What is going to be the value of y, the y value, when x is negative 3?
It's going to be positive 6.
Are you sure? When x is negative 3, what is the value of y?
Gonna be 0.
Try to do it from your book aside there, side work. You can even use a calculator, by the way. Mandela, repeat your answer. When x is negative 3, what is the value of y?
6.
6. How are you getting 6? We need to know.
You see, for you to get the answer 6, for here, it's 3 minus negative 3. And now when you have to multiply that negative times negative, the answer will be positive. And right after there, you multiply after multiplication, then with
Yeah, it's better than yours.
He's saying the answer is 6, and I agree, because in this case, x is negative 3. So where there is x, you just put there negative 3 and see the answer that you will get. You were taught how to deal with integers. So this becomes 3 minus 3. 3 minus 3. What is a negative followed by a negative? The answer is a positive.
Positive.
Yes, so overall it becomes 3 plus 3, and the answer is 6. That is correct. That is correct. Sophie, can you tell us the next one? When x is negative 2, what is the value of y?
5.
Save time.
5.
I said if I have not asked you, you don't answer. Where is Sophie? Okay, Kevin Lawrence, can you tell us what's the value of y when x is negative 2 here?
5.
The answer will be 5. How are you getting 5?
When we multiply a negative times a negative, we get a positive.
Who told you that we are multiplying? We are not multiplying here. This is minus and x is negative 2. So the thing, right in your notes there, side work, the thing now becomes y is equal to 3 minus 3. That is how it is supposed to be. 3 minus 3. This is the 3, then this is its minus, and then x is negative 2. So we put negative 2 here. It becomes 3 minus 2. I have been telling you, when you have a negative followed by a negative, it becomes a positive. We are not multiplying. So it becomes 3 plus 2, which is what? 5. So let us continue. When x is equal to -1, just put -1 here where there is x, and it will be 3 minus -1, and a negative followed by a negative becomes a positive. So it will be 3 plus 1, which gives us 4. It gives us what? 4. When x is 0, now my y becomes 3 minus 0, which gives me 3. And I want to tell you something. When you make a mistake on any of these points, then the line will not come out. So you must be very careful. Any mistake that you make on the table here, the line will not come out. Okay? Now, when x is 1, the corresponding value of y is going to be 3 minus 1, and the answer is 2. And when x is 2, the corresponding value of y will be 3 minus 2, which gives us 1. And when x is 3, the corresponding value of y will be 3 minus 3, which is 0. Any question on the table before I proceed? Please ask. If the question says draw a graph usually consists of values of x and values of y. You cannot draw a graph when you don't know values of x and values of y. So we have been given a range of values of x to be from -3 to +3. So we first write the values of x, and then using this equation we get the corresponding value of y. I advise you to do this work aside. Don't do it from your head. Go to your rough book. When x is -3, put -3 here where there is x and get the right answer. Don't do it from your head like me. So now let me take you to the graph that I plotted. Let's plot because the question was plot the graph. So you remember how we drew the axes. The y-axis must always be the vertical axis, and the x-axis must always be the horizontal axis. Now, they didn't give me a scale to use, but in order for the graph to cover 3/4 of the graph paper, I choose to use this graph. Who can tell me the scale that I have used here? For example, on the vertical axis. Who can tell me the scale I'm using on y-axis? Nezima? Someone talk, please. Peace. Why are you very shy today? Who can tell me the scale that I'm using on y-axis?
2 centimeter.
2 centimeters to represent how many units? Because we said 2 centimeters is from here to here. How many units are there in 2 centimeters? So we are using a scale of 2 centimeters to represent 1 unit. From here to here, it is 1 unit. 1, then 2, 3, 4. So I'm using 2 centimeters to represent 1 unit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then on the x-axis, this is the x-axis. I don't know why I forgot to label it. On the x-axis, I'm still using 2 centimeters to represent 1 what? Unit. Now I start plotting. My first coordinate, which is xy, will be -3, 6. -3, 6, I first go to the x-axis, I locate -3, -3, Then 6, I go to the y-axis and look for 6. So this is my coordinate -3, 6. The next coordinate is -2, 5. I go to my x-axis, I rotate -2, and I go to the y-axis and I rotate 5. Here it is. My next coordinate is -1, 4. I go on the x-axis, I rotate -1, and on the y-axis it is 4. So there it is. 0, 3. On the x-axis it is 0, and on the y-axis it is 3. 1, 2. On the x-axis it is 1, and on the y-axis it is 2. Then 2, 1. On the x-axis it is 1, then y it is 1. I mean it is 2, 1. 2 on x, 1 on y. Then finally 3, 0. 3 on x is this, and 0 on y does not move anywhere on y, so this is 3, 0. Now after plotting all those points of x, y, I get my ruler and draw a straight line passing through all the points. If you don't get a line, because we are plotting straight lines, if you don't get a line, you know that you are wrong. You know that you made a mistake somewhere. Go back and look at your work. Yes, someone was putting up a hand. I don't know if there is a question. So it is very important that you don't make a mistake on the table. And note that the y-axis is the vertical axis and the x-axis is the horizontal axis. So this is the x-axis, and then this is the y-axis. So in the same way, you are going to draw for me this graph. I've given you the values of x. So y is 3, x plus 2. But you need to choose a favorable scale that will accommodate for all the values. Now the other thing, I don't want any one of you to use a pen on a graph paper again, because when you make a mistake with a pen, you cannot rub. Please use a sharp pencil that can be seen. Use a sharp pencil that I can see properly. When you make a mistake with a pen, you will not rub. So I encourage you to use a pencil only on a graph paper and a ruler. The remaining time is for questions. Can I allow questions from you, please? Is everything clear? Sophie?
Yes.
Sophie, what's your question?
So is it
Louder
a
and
must
faster.
that the graph must be a line?
Yes, the one that
Is it a must that the graph should always be a line?
it's not a must, but depending on for what we are doing today, it must be a line. It depends on the equation you have. So the equations that I've given you today are for a straight line. So the graph that you must get today is a straight line. But there is when you get a curve, depending on the equation that you have. But curves, we shall plot them when we are in senior 2. In senior 1, we are only plotting straight lines. So you should get a line, a straight line. That was a good question. Any other question? For today, the equations that we are doing are for straight lines, so you should not get a curve. So I wish you a good day. God bless you. Greet for me your parents. Bye-bye. We are now going to... Yes.
Coding.
Ask your question loud faster.
Teacher, hope send the recording. There's a part I did not understand.
Okay, let me see what to do.